indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Boy, that sounds good. Let's do that again. Good evening. We did have an executive session just to go over some personnel matters. No actions were taken. We'll begin this meeting. If anybody has a public comment, we ask you to step up to the podium. Please leave your comments at 3 minutes if you could. Just wanted to let you know that we will recognize any resident or a taxpayer of the Sayre School District wishing to address the board about title programming or any other matter of concern or interest properly raised in a public session. We ask that you do give your name as well as your address and the subject of the content you will be addressing. And again, please try to keep it at 3 minutes. Moreover, please note that comments relative to private student or employee matters should be directed to the superintendent outside of the meeting. So, anyone wishing to address? Mrs. Lamanna.
Sorry, the bad news is this is not turning on.
That's all right, I'm
You'll
loud.
have to project.
I think it's on.
Good evening, my name is Diane Lamanna. I live on Lee Road in Sayre. I'm here just to talk a little bit about outsourcing, since I know that's on your mind. I want to let you know that if you outsource, you lose control of the people in your building. Companies will cut corners to increase their profits. Our school will go from having a stable, experienced staff to a contractor workforce with a constant turnover. Wages and insurance will be cut for our employees. They won't be able to afford to stay, so in turn, our children will see new faces all the time. You would be taking away the friendly faces they see every day, the faces our children love and who love them back. Our people go above and beyond for our buildings. We have custodians on their hands and knees scraping the built-up wax off the floors in our high school. Will the outsourced company set up for games, graduation, board meetings, prom, and kids' night out? And sometimes on a moment's notice because someone forgot to let them know? Will an outsourced employee fill in at moment's notice when cafeteria is short or when we need another crossing guard? Will we trust that an outsourced company will make sure that our children with food allergies will be watched carefully? Our cafeteria staff has worked short for so long, and every one of them step up and cover the slack. Dr. Delosio mentioned in her press release that outsourcing works. I believe it does not. Source for Teachers is supposed to find subs for us when we are out. I never have a sub unless we have an extra building-based sub available that day. Are they responsible for getting cafeteria subs, or is that nutrition group? Either way, that has failed miserably. We have still held some classes in the auditorium this year. She mentioned our SRO is outsourced. I wouldn't consider that outsourcing since we don't have a choice in that. Our tech department also has had a few changes. Dr. Delosio also mentioned that the support staff union authorized the district to outsource. I feel we were forced into that decision. The alternative was to keep fighting and allow them to outsource 3 years ago. We agreed because we hoped to change the board in those 3 years to people that understand how important it is to our children to keep the people that care about it. It is not always about money. We are a family. I challenge you as a board to come into our schools and talk to our custodians and cafeteria workers. Let them tell you their stories. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Lamanna. Anyone else wishing to address the board?
Good evening, my name is Matt Middlebrook, 403 South Wilbur. I sent a letter to the board a couple weeks ago. It's being referred to as outsourcing. I'd refer to it more as selling out. And what is the cost of dedication? What is the cost of caring? What is the cost of hard work? What is the cost of a smile, a hug? These are things you have now. These are things that will be sold out, that will impact the educational program, bring down the quality of the educational experience here at Sayre. And I encourage you to talk to the employees, go witness what's going on in the cafeterias. Do the right thing. Do the right thing for people. And I encourage you to vote no on selling out cafeteria staff and custodial staff. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Middlebrook. Anyone else wishing to address the board at this time? No one else, okay. A couple of special presentations this evening. Mrs. Lezak has brought her Odyssey of the Mind kits with her this evening, and if they'd like to come up, and we're anxious to see what's in store for us tonight.
And now, please give a round of applause for Noor and Dora, the first two twin twins to be accepted to go on to the scholarship to Mars with the amazing scientists Dr. Khan and Dr. Mosher.
My name is Dr. Kmetz. I'm your personal teacher and I will be accompanying you on this educational journey throughout space. Please proceed to enter the spaceship.
In the lab. But where is Dr. Kmetz?
Where were you, Dr. Kmetz? We're almost to Mars. We have to prepare for landing. You two, hurry up and sit down. Girls, we have created the structure. We are preparing to head back to Earth. Is your invention ready? Yes, ma'am. Oh, wait, that switch is not close. We need to click it before we take off back to Earth. Okay, girls. Go ahead, you can go click the switch. Good catch. That really could have been deemed. Okay. Done. Boom, explosion, watch. Go ahead.
Something's wrong with our sound effects? No.
Wait.
Wasn't working.
Okay. So the Bluetooth speaker is not with us, so.
What happened? I'm an alien, come for you. If you are wise, you'll listen to me. Oh yes, you gotta turn it again, thank you. Now that you have the humans have taken an immense step into the progression of space. But yes, that should now prepare for the people No, not if we shall stop you. Since you're now mutated, you should return to Earth for treatment immediately. Return to Earth? Has thou not heard our plan? Earth will be ours, and they are not powerful enough to stop us. We need our potions. Oh, ouch.
Why are you fighting us? We only wanted to send you back to Earth for treatment.
That was lying to us. Daddy, you must have lied to us before. How? Before the explosion, you were both human. Stop them! I will. So, well, not if we can stop it. That's when the explosion happened. Well, where did it go? Over here. Stop them. Look, they're by that portal they created. If it works right, it'll send them back to Earth and straight to the lab. You're right. You guys have to go back. Go through the portal and they will treat you to make you human again.
I know, we did change the
They're right. You have to go back.
No, you made us this way. You ruined our chances at the scholarship.
Me?
No, we must let you figure out what you do. Once you have, you can correct the formula they created and make us human again.
But how? We only know you mutated from the explosion.
Correct. But why did it explode?
Wow, who could have done this?
While they start to investigate, they realize
It has to be one of us. We were the only ones here.
But who and why?
I don't know. Maybe a drug. Who though? The program stopped for 5 years. They would have to be as old as me. What if it is you? I wasn't, I swear. You said at the beginning of the trip, you were suspicious all day. You always agreed with us, and you said they would have to be as old as you. You even told them to connect the wires. You could have hurt them. I didn't think it would explode. You could have hurt us. You're an incredible scientist. The altitude change didn't disconnect the wires, and you know 2 little kids couldn't put them together safely. Of course it would explode.
Dr. Moser was meanwhile mixing a potion.
Why are you doing
The
this?
throws were human again.
Let her talk.
Why?
Please let her talk. Guys, let her talk, please. We want you to let her talk. She screwed up. She was by herself. She had no support.
Why should we let her talk?
We just told you.
Okay, fine. She can have another chance. But if she ever pulls anything like this again, she has to leave. What? She deserves another chance. Really? Fine. You deserve another chance. Okay, I promise I won't pull anything again. You better not.
And they worked together as a team for the rest of their careers.
Clyde, what are you doing? There were many issues. There were many issues, guys. Let's be real. We did not have this skit.
Just to give you a background, I think I told you before, but I was not allowed to help them with anything. I actually got scolded quite a few times at the competition because I was trying to be a teacher.
How many was that?
So, but everything, I wasn't even allowed to carry the structure for them. I wasn't allowed to touch anything. I wasn't allowed to say anything. The only thing I'm allowed to do is help him with the 45-pound weights. So these guys went up against the middle schoolers, and they held their own, and they did a really good job. We had a lot of sound effects and things shooting, but I tried to load it all in my car, and I only could fit so much. So, 240,000? All right, thank you for having us.
Meredith, where will we be headed to next?
Pocono Mountain East. We're at Pocono Mountain West, and then States will be at East. April 6th.
April 6th.
Yes.
And
They're making duct tape costumes now, and they've changed everything, so that's why they're confused on the script, because they changed that.
Thank you, Mrs. Lezak, and the Odyssey of Mind students up at Snyder. Keep up the good work. We'll be rooting for you as you go into your states, the states in April, right? Okay. Next up, Miss Wenzel, and what? Join us. I'll let you guys.
You can take those.
Here, grab these.
So that'll be the.
All right, so while we're getting set up here, allow me to set the scene. We are set here in the music band. We are set in the music band, which takes place in rural Iowa in 1912. What? It might be all right. We don't see it. Right here. So, how many of us are familiar with the concept of the music band? A couple. Okay. Well, for those of us who aren't, a brief description of the music band. We have our classic main character, our protagonist, salesman Harold Hill. Where's Harold Hill? He's in the back there, otherwise known as Sam Claypool. And we have here a bunch of salesmen, otherwise known as Sophie Hyatt, Miss Carrie Ackerman, who is standing in for one of our students who is sick tonight. We have a salesman, Kendra Hyatt. I almost called you Kate Carew. Kate Riley. We have Caleb Simons, Logan Richmond, and Logan Howard. And we have our train conductor here, Maddie Mazzatesta. So we will be set in a train on our way to River City to go sell some vans. And these salesmen are not so sure about Harold Hill. They've heard some awful things about him. They've seen some awful things about him. That might be true. You never know. You'll have to watch the show to find out. And our show, I'll tell you the dates again at the end, but our dates are March 22nd and 23rd at 7 p.m. and the 24th at 2 o'clock p.m. Whenever you're ready.
River City Junction, River City. Next station stop.
You're crazy with heat. Credit's no good for a notion salesman.
Why not? Why not? What's the matter with credit?
It's old-fashioned. Charlie, you're an Anvil salesman. Your firm give credit? No, sir. Nor anyone else.
River City next.
Cash for the merchandise. Cash for the button hooks.
Cash for the cotton goods. Cash for the hard goods.
Cash for the soft goods. Cash for the fancy goods.
Cash for the noglins and the piglins and the firkins.
Cash for the hogshead, casket, demijohn. Cash for the crackers and the pickles and the fly pickers.
What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get it?
What do you talk?
You can talk, you can talk. You can bicker, you can talk. You can bicker, bicker, bicker. You can talk, you can talk. You can talk, 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 talk. Bicker, bicker, bicker. You can talk all you wanted, but it's different than it was.
No, it ain't, but you gotta know the territory. Some Model T Ford in the trouble made the people wanna go. Wanna get up and go. 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 22, 1. County seat.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Who's gonna patronize a little bitty 2x4 kind of store anymore?
What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get it? At the Model T at all. Take a gander at the store. At the modern store. At the present day store. At the present day modern Depart at the last grocery store.
What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get it?
What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get it?
You can talk, you can bicker. You can talk, you can bicker. You can talk, 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 bicker, bicker, bicker. You can talk all you want, but it's different than it was.
No, it ain't, but you gotta know the territory. Why?
You need to put some into trouble. You need to put a package in a cracker. You need to put us into the airtight sanitary cracker in the Cracker Barrel. Obsolete. Cracker Barrel went out the window with the mail pouch, hot plug, chawing by the stove. Changed the approach of a traveling salesman. Made it pretty hard.
No, it didn't, but you gotta know the territory. Gone.
Gone with the hogshead, cast and demijohn. Gone with the sugar barrel, pickle barrel, milk pan. Gone with the tub and the pail and the pick.
Ever met a fellow by the name of Hill?
Hill? No.
No.
Just a minute.
Never heard of any salesman Hill.
No, he doesn't know the territory.
Doesn't know the territory.
What's a fella's line?
Never worries about his line.
Never worries about his line.
Or a Cracker Barrel being obsolete, or that you need a biscuit in an airtight sanitary package, or the
Model T Ford.
Just a minute, just a minute, just a minute.
Never worries about his line.
Never worries about his line.
Or a doggone thing. He's just a bang beat, bell bringing, big Paul, great go, necker nothing, rip throwing, every time, full-size salesman. That's Professor Harold Hill. Harold Hill.
Tell us, what's his line, what's his line?
He's a fake, and he doesn't know the territory.
Talk, what do you talk, what do you talk, what do you talk? He's a music man.
He's a what? He's a what?
He's a music man, and he sells clarinets to the kids in the town with the big trombones and the rat-a-tat drums and the big brass bass, and the piccolo uniforms too, with the shiny gold braid on the coat and the big white stripes running.
Well, I don't know much about bands, but I do know you can't make a business selling big trombones. No, sir. Mandolin picks for hats, and here and there a Jew's heart.
No, the fella sells bands, boys' bands. I don't know how he does it, but he lives like a king, and he dallies and he gathers, and he plucks and he shines. And when the man dances, certainly, boys, what else? The piper pays him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. When the man dances, certainly, boys, what else? The piper pays him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But he doesn't know the territory.
River City, River City, River City. We cross the state line into Iowa. River City, population 2,212. Cigarettes illegal in the state. Fort.
All right, if you're all through, I'll tell you about Harold Hill.
You really know Harold Hill?
Nope, I never met him a day in my life, but I do know this much. He's given every one of us a black eye. After he's worked the town over, the next salesman to arrive gets automatically tarred and feathered and rode out to the city limits on a rail. You think that's funny? Well, wait till it happens to you. Your hair never grows back.
But why should he get rode out of town on a rail?
Because in order to sell them band instruments and uniforms and instruction books, he has to guarantee to teach the kids to play. Well, and to form them kids into a band, with himself as the leader.
And what's wrong with that?
He's a know one note from another. That's what's wrong with that. He can't tell a bass drum from a pipe organ. I swear, when I catch up to that Swindlin 2-bit thimble ringer, I swear I'll squeal on him so loud!
Wow, you're mad, Charlie. Sure like to be around when you catch up with that fella.
Well, we'll be in this trade, not in Iowa. Even the great Professor Harold Hill went to try to sell them neck both Hawkeyes out here.
Fort.
Gentlemen, you intrigue me. I think I'll have to give Iowa a try. I don't believe I caught your name. Don't believe I threw it.
All right, we'll go ahead and put our chairs back up quietly. So again, those dates, those show dates are March 22nd and 23rd, Friday and Saturday at 7 o'clock p.m. here in the auditorium. And our other show date is Sunday the 24th at 2 o'clock p.m. Hope to see you there. Thank you again for coming.
Like I said, I can't wait to go to River City, I'll tell you. It's going to be a great show. Good show, in fact. Why they chose it. All right, let's continue on. We'll begin with the consent agenda. Number 2 with the minutes from February 5th. Instruction, we've got some board reports. The conference requests, also field trip requests, concern linkage letter referral agreement that was in the packet. And also we have under finance, we have the attachments for the cafeteria bills, capital projects, federal programs, as well as general fund. Athletics and recreation, we will have also athletic personnel to approve of, and also other personnel requests as far as some retirements, or I should say resignations. Thank you. And other than that, I think that's it for our consent agenda. Do we have a motion to accept the... No. Okay, now I just skipped over the policies. Thank you, Dr. Delosio. Okay, okay.
Reading a final policy.
Okay, and also the policies, the final readings of the policies that we have also in the package as well.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any questions or comments on the consent agenda? Seeing that there is none, can, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Move that. Oh, let's see here. One page ahead of myself here, folks. Bear with me. Next on the agenda is bills to be paid. We have a motion and a second to pay the bills.
Motion.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any questions or comments on the bills? Dr. Delosio, would you like to roll call this, please?
Deb Agnew? Yes, except I abstain on general fund bills paid number 3 and general fund bills for payment number 1. Mr. Hadlow?
Yes.
Ms. Kavitz?
Yes.
Mr. Rude?
Yes.
Mr. Hickey?
Yes.
Mrs. Blight?
Yes.
Mr. Skirkwood?
Yes.
Mr. Petrini?
Yes.
Mr. Cool?
Yes. We already did the district, or the final policies, correct?
That's correct.
Yes, okay.
They really consent.
Okay, so we'll move on to the reports. Mrs. Ely, high school principal's report.
I don't have much to discuss tonight. I just wanted to mention that students here at the high school have started their course selection for next year. So juniors and sophomores have already had their group presentation with Mrs. Schreiber and some teachers talking about electives that are going to be offered, and they're in the process of meeting one-on-one with Mrs. Schreiber to plan out their schedules. Freshmen will have their group presentation tomorrow morning. And I would just say to parents out there, I encourage you to talk with your students about their options for next year. You can look at our curriculum guide, which is on our website, to plan things out and kind of help them make some choices. And feel free to call or email guidance if you have any questions. And the only other thing really is that the third marking period, believe it or not, is ending on March 22nd. So it's coming right up very soon. That's it.
I don't see Mr. Howie here. Thank you. Mrs. Morrell, you can tell us what's going on up this night.
Nothing's going on at Snyder.
No.
Good evening, everyone. We have a short collection time period for the Ronald McDonald House. It will go until March 8th. The grade level that collects the most items will get a pizza, candy, and ice cream party. So good luck to everyone. Happy collecting. Mr. Cole, get your calendar out. Our second annual Spring Fling is going to be May 9th. Kids will again come from 5 to 7:30. We have a ton of fun things set up for this year's event, so we hope to see everyone there. Our second annual school talent show will be coming in May. We'll start about 1:45. We're encouraging everybody to attend. Mr. Claypool, since you were the winner of the big volleyball tournament, perhaps you'd like to come and show some of your skills with Sam at our talent show. Always trying to recruit new faces up there. And finally, thank you to Arna Ogden for bringing Twitch and Twiggle to our school. It's a KN1 poison control presentation. The presenter said there were lots of questions and positive feedback for how our classroom behaved during the programs. And a big thank you to both of the groups that came and showcased their talents this evening. It's always nice to see a continuum that our kids always continue to do well. So I'm very proud of that. That's it.
Thank you, Mrs. Morrell.
You're welcome.
And our Director of Student Services, as well as our Director of Academic and Student Affairs, they are ill tonight, so we'll skip over their reports. We'll have that for us on our next board meeting. As far as committee reports, any of our committee chairs that would like to report on anything at their meetings?
Sure, we had a technology committee meeting on the 20th of February. Talked about a guest network here at the district, which is currently up on certain parts. So for any guests that can jump on the district network while they're here, so they don't have to have a login and a password like the rest of the students and the faculty. We're still waiting for E-rate bids for our new internet service provider. They've started testing new projectors for the library and the auditorium. The 24, 25, 7th grade laptops are on order. In the future, they're looking at a new printing service company, looking for convertible Chromebooks for K-Carts and First one-to-one. Finish staff laptop refresh. There's 10 laptops for the staff that are needed. In STEM/art refresh, there's 5 new iPads to round out the STEM shared cart. I'm looking for 25 iPads with Procreate licenses and slow multi-year rollout acceptable for that, and bringing in Adobe named licensing for the district to help with all of it. So that's what was going on in the technology committee.
Thank you, Mr. Quattrini. Anyone else like to give us a report?
Well, I was going to say to quote Chuck Hessler, any questions, comments, confessions, or complaints? All right.
No one else? Okay. Boy, that means more time for me. But anyway, I want to wish our Odyssey of the Mind team up at Snyder well as they head on out to the States April the 6th. We're going to be rooting for you. Thank you to our high school students for their short presentation of the Music Man. Again, that's March 22nd through the 24th. Like I said, I'm looking forward to going to see that. Also, I want to give a big shout out to the Connection Cafe. It looks like that's become a big hit. They were serving our some folks from Wales that came to visit our school here. I believe it was a week ago. So everything is going well there. Also, I want to say it was good to see our students performing in the recreation basketball as well as the scholarship challenge that during the season here. And also a big shout out to Layla Bennett. She's on her way to Wrestling States, and also to Micaiah Brown and her successful wrestling bids. And again, we're proud of our student athletes for the winter as well, so I want to give them a shout out as well. David Wong was third in his weight class in the state powerlifting tournament recently held, and congratulations to David. And also coming up this Thursday night at 7 o'clock, if you can be there, 6 till 7:30, the Northern Tier Career Center's demonstration night is being held. This is open to the public. It's a great way to go down and see what they can offer to future students, as well as seeing what our current students are doing down at the Career Center. And that's everything I have in my report. Dr. Delosio.
Mr.
Cole.
Yes.
Just, you had said a couple of athletic things. I was wondering if I could jump in and add a few more, if that's okay.
Oh, please.
Along the accolade lines, wrestling, you had mentioned Layla going to States. She leaves Wednesday, wrestling Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'll try to get the information as to when approximately she'll be wrestling, so we can try to live stream it either here in the school or put it on the website or something. But that's pretty exciting. You spoke about Micaiah Brown. She made it to regionals as a first-year wrestler, so that was nice. And then on the boys' side, Jordan Brown made it to districts, and he was the first Sarah kid to make it out of sectionals in 3 or 4 years at least, so that was nice to see to start moving there. Also wanted to talk about a couple of the kids on the swim team, the co-op with Athens. We had Dominic Music, a Sarah kid who took 7th in the 200 IM at district. Austin Quattrini, who took 12th in the 500 freestyle. That's not a fun race to,
20
not a
laps,
fun race to swim. And took 14th in the 200 free. And then Olivia Thompson on the girls' side was in the 3rd place 400 freestyle relay team, and she took 7th in the 100 backstroke. And 1 or 2 more just quick things. Spring sports started today. We can still have kids sign up, so if you're hearing this and your kid's on the fence, tell them to sign up, because the more numbers, the better. The more kids we have out, the better we are. And if you happen to be a 7th or 8th grade girl that's interested in softball, we could really use a few more signups there. And boys basketball team went to districts this year as well. That was the last thing.
That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Claypool. Dr. Delosio.
All right, thank you. I too want to thank Mrs. Lezak and for your dedication and time that you give to these students beyond the school day, and the traveling that you take away from your family to commit to these students for them to be able to compete. I really appreciate that, as well as the board and the administration and your colleagues. So thank you for doing that for them.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to see how they do next time. So up against middle schoolers, that's a feat. They've done a great job. And Miss Wenzel was our new music teacher, along with Miss Ackerman, putting on that play and coming in tonight and having a group of students perform. I couldn't be more appreciative of that, and I can't wait to see that in full force on our stage. So as Mr. Cole did say, we had a group of visitors from Wales here. The IU-17, who connects with us through 19 school districts. Rebecca Gibney, she does a great job at the IU. She had received a grant, as she often does, and has been connected with educators from Wales for the last 18 months, and she reached out not too long ago and asked if any of the school districts would welcome them to our school district to give them a tour, and I readily reached back and said I'd be happy to do that and connect with them and be a part of a day. So they were here for an entire week, and they spent last Tuesday here, 5 of them, educational leaders from over in Wales, and they visited the high school. We stopped at the Connections Cafe. They were very busy, so we went back to the conference room and placed an order online and had it delivered. And we had conversation around professional development, our curriculum cycle, those were things that they wanted to hear about. And then in the afternoon, we ordered from parishes so they could have a hometown Sayre family-owned business. So we had parishes for lunch, and then we went over to Snyder Elementary School and did a nice tour over there. And our first stop over there was in Miss Wenzel's 1st grade class. It was with first grader. I don't know, Mrs. Condon, if it was your class or not, but they were using boom whackers, which I have not seen for a couple of years. And she readily invited all of us to participate, which we certainly did. We grabbed a boom whacker and joined in on the festivities, and we ended up playing music to a Taylor Swift song. So, that was interesting. Toured the rest of your facility, commented at both facilities on how nice and clean and everything that our Todd Green and his team were doing. They do a great job. And we ended up down in kindergarten was our last stop with Miss Skirpon's class, and they were headed over to the multi-ball unit that's in the former pre-K room. And a couple of them took the time to compete with the kindergartners, and they had a blast playing in the multi-ball. They were having snack over there, and then they played with the multi-ball unit. So I know that you were not there that day, but they enjoyed visiting your school. Your secretarial team did a great job, so thank you for that as well. And then one of the other things that I saw Friday, I stayed after school and went down to the gymnasium because the senior class parents that are putting together the all-night party had a competition here, a volleyball tournament that started at 3:30, and teams could sign up. There could be teachers, staff members, students, and I think there were 5 different teams, right? And Mr. Claypool played on a team. I know he's not looking at me or making eye contact right now, but he was on the bleachers, and I said to him, don't get hurt. Just don't get hurt. He went out, I think he was in the second round, right, and he ended up on the floor at some point, and I was like, oh, don't get hurt, Mr. Claypool, I'm gonna need you next week, right? So, but the winner of that competition ended up being Mr. Claypool, Mrs. Ely, Mr. Rich Kroll, Mr. Kevin Craig, Mrs. Naomi Abbey, and the other side, Mr. Aaron Roy. I knew it was 3 science teachers on that team, and they played against students and we had a team from the elementary school come over and play. It was fun. They raised some money for the senior class and had a good time. So it was a lot of fun. And then the last thing I have to mention is that we've had 2 snow days so far this year. And we have those days marked in our calendar. The first one is the Thursday before Easter, which will certainly be an in-person instruction day for our student body. And the second one is currently scheduled for May 24th. And I'd like to mention to the board that I would like to convert that day from a student day into a professional development day for our teachers to utilize, because the state of Pennsylvania changed school code in January from needing 180 days to needing either 900 hours at the elementary school or 990 hours at the secondary school. We exceed those numbers. So we'd like to convert that day into a professional development day. Does anybody have any questions for me? Or I will send a letter to all of our families if you're okay with that. I don't need a vote on it, but I certainly, any comment that you might, or any concerns that you might have. Okay, so I will email staff tomorrow, and then I will send a letter out to our families as well. I'm converting that day to a professional development day. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Cole.
Thank you, Dr. Lozio. Future meetings coming up, Community Relations and the Wellness Committee. They'll be meeting March the 11th at 5:30 in the Administrative Conference Room. Also, the Finance Committee meeting will be meeting that same evening at 6:30 as well as in the conference room. Building and Grounds Committee, 7:30 that same evening, also in the administrative offices. And our next board meeting is March 18th, Monday night, 7 p.m. here in the Sayre Library, the Sayre High School Library. I better make that a little bit more clearer for everyone. So other than that, if we don't have any other comments or questions, we have a motion to adjourn.